Another happy landing.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey guys, how are you all doing today? So with the whole speculation about, what the title is for 9, what 9's going to be about, is, Reylo going to happen and this and that, a lot of people are saying that Anakin is going to be brought back into Episode 9. And when I say brought back, I mean that in Episode 7, JJ Abrams had concept designs to bring Anakin into the story as a diverging split Force ghost between the light and the dark. Now, if he is brought into 9, that's great and all, but I want to basically dissect in this video what his point would be. Why would he even be in 9? And I believe I have a good answer. Now, JJ has said that Episode 9 will complete the entire saga of Star Wars, starting with Episode 1 all the way through 9. So that means we get the prequels, originals, and sequels tied into one nice movie. George Lucas said that Star Wars is about Anakin Skywalker, and who later turned into Darth Vader, but it's always been about Anakin, the chosen one, and that's why I think it'll end with him too. Now, what could Anakin's purpose be besides, bringing the audience in as a fan favorite? Well, Anakin was the one who basically split the galaxy in two and then put it back together by bringing balance to the Force, once he turned back into himself from Darth Vader and killed the Emperor. So what would his purpose be in Episode 9? Star Wars has always been about the Force, and I believe it will continue that way forever, at least I hope, at least in Episode 9. So what problem do we have? Obviously, it's Kylo. He is the most conflicted person in the entire trilogy. He has this constant fight to turn back to the light, however he wants to stay and remain in the dark. So what needs to be done to bring balance to the Force, which is what Snoke always talks about, and pretty much what Star Wars is about balancing the Force. I don't think it's so much about a bigger enemy, and that's why I think Anakin will indirectly have a way of communicating with Kylo. Now, I believe the Force kind of works like a telephone, in the sense that Padme is really the only one who can get through to Anakin, and Anakin is the only one who can get through to Luke. Luke can get through Rey, and Rey is the only one to get through to Kylo. And this circles us back to Anakin's story. It's that he's not really sure, he's a bad person, but he's not a bad person in the grand scheme of things. He basically does these bad things in the name of good. He says, well, look, I've destroyed the Jedi Order, I've killed these children, but look, I've brought peace and justice to the galaxy. He always has some sort of a excuse as to why he did these things. He did it to save you, he did it to protect you, that he says to Padme. And it's these sort of excuses that he gives himself to kind of outweigh what he does. And I believe Kylo is falling into this same line of path. And I think Anakin's full arc is to basically right his wrongs by fixing Kylo and stopping him from doing what he did. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Kylo is being pulled to the light, but he's in the dark. Anakin was being pulled to the dark, but he was in the light. These parallels play huge in the sequel trilogy, and you can pretty much see them for yourself. Now, whether Anakin will show up as a Force ghost or not, I don't know, but I hope he sure does. I think it would be awesome to have some new dialogue with him. Something I really, really want to see, though, is a basically new angle of him either on Mustafar or somewhere in the Jedi Temple or even in the Clone Wars. How awesome would it be if we had Kylo looking back on some holograms or something like that of Anakin and Obi-Wan in some never-before-seen footage of the Clone Wars in live action? That, for me, would be a huge highlight in the movie. I think that would just be a really nice touch. That's just kind of my basic theory on what I think Anakin's purpose will be in the film. Obviously, if he does make a cameo of some sort, then he will definitely be talking to Luke, I believe. I don't think he'll be talking much to Kylo. I think it would be really interesting if he does, because, first of all, we've, seen Kylo basically in Episode 7 say that, show me again the way of the dark. Show me the power of the dark side, as he's speaking to Vader's helmet. So it kind of makes you wonder if Vader has spoken to Kylo before, and what Anakin has to say about it. Because if you didn't know, Anakin and Vader are two split personalities, pretty much. And this is why we always see Vader saying, I destroyed Anakin, he was weak, and this and that. It's because he sees him as somewhat of a different person, and this was a way of him kind of dealing with all of the horrific things that he did in his life. I hope we see Anakin in a flashback like we've never seen before, and I also hope we see him as a Force ghost of some sorts, to at least let's hear his voice, in some new dialogue. I think that would be really cool. Let me know what you guys think his purpose will be in the film, or even if he will be in the film or won't be. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next episode. Until then, remember,
the Force will be with you always.
Fulfill